Okay, video number 2, setting it up. First thing you need to do is to get the cable or the tie from the front here. Generally, you just need to unlock it. That will pull out. It's just hooks on down here, and you need to take this all the way to the back of the trailer, and you'll see 2 ring hooks. To open up, we put it on the back, the top one. Okay, once you've done that, the next step, okay, this is after you've come and set it up and got it level and put your legs down, is to come and undo the clips. Now you'll see there's 2 clips on either side. It's very important that you undo both the back ones first. And the reason being that if you undo the front ones, the actual load on this, or the load on those back ones will be too great, and they can possibly, be pulled off if you do that. So once you've done the 2 back, you then can undo the 2 front ones. And sometimes there'll be a bit of load on this, you'll notice. So what we need to do, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. If I borrow our friend's car, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that from there, but you need to pull down on the thing to get that clip off, like that. I don't know if you're able to see that or not, but it's easier with 2 people, but it can be done with 1. Same on this side. You'll notice that it'll come up, and you need to pull down so you can flip that one off. And you'll see there's some natural pressure with these gas struts to get that up. So what you do next, make sure you've got everything you need out of the front bits, and this top panel here is clear. You'll see why in a second. And then you flip your latch fully forward and you start winding. And what will happen is you'll see that it pulls the whole thing forward. A little bit noisy. You don't want to be arriving at camp too late at night. So just keep winding. Keep winding. Just come all the way down. You'll see that bar there will rest on that, come to rest on that rubber there. There you go. Don't pull it too tight at the end, or otherwise it's a bit of a bugger to get that latch undone. Okay, then you see it's mostly open there, sort of there. You then need to go inside. Let's just see if I can turn the light on. It might give me a bit more light inside there. Which again, if you remember from before, we come on and turn on the LED switch on the battery box. We go inside. Oh, you can just see here now, you see that there's this 1 bar that goes up around the back, and on both sides it's got 2 clips, and there are some push points, so you've got to come in here and push these up. Okay, you'll get to a point where you'll see that there's a little pop clip there. You can go up a bit further, but that's generally far enough. And then you sort of tighten that up with that clip there. The same on this side. You pull it up, get past the little pop clip there, and then do that up. And then that is pretty much the whole thing done up inside. You'll see The bedding here, I recommend you open up all the zips and flies and get some airflow in. Pretty cool, because it does get quite hot. You don't have to do any other sort of adjustment. We'll have some bedding and blankets and stuff available for you. There are 2 clips on the bed. This is just to hold it in place. There's a clip there, and there's a clip which I don't know if I've repaired. You might have to tie that one up, I think, from memory. So that's it, pretty much ready to go. There's an LED. Oh, that one's not working. This is not working. Are they switched on here? Oh, yeah, you got to switch them on inside, which I don't know what's going on with them. They should be coming on, which if they're not is another problem that I'm going to have to look into. But you'll need to, we'll have some torch, you need a torch and stuff. I'm just going to, when you're packing up, I just want to make sure that they're all switched off. Oh. I'll see if I can get that piece sorted before I go, but if not, just be mindful that you might need some torches. There's more USB slots there for you. This is an access into that long storage display I showed you, where you can get into it from 2 sides. There is a 12 volt there if you've got car lighter accessories. And here is the air conditioning setting. So as I mentioned, if you're going to have the aircon running, you need to open that bottom panel, and then there's just a little I might not have it turned on at the thing. There is just an automatic thing there to play around, and you'll get some airflow happening with that. Okay, that's just a step up on there. There is a couple of camping chairs and a small table just underneath here. This mattress comes out and goes up. You've got some sitting seats, sort of sitting space around here in case you get some terrible weather and you need to be inside. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this inside setup. And then you go back outside, and it's just a matter of pulling out all the things. You'll notice that some magnetic sort of things that are supposed to keep in place. This thing here is an ensuite, which we don't use, and you're at Dundee, so you've got a toilet box, which I don't need. As I mentioned before, it's a rear water tank is there. There's a key, a particular key on the key lanyard to open that up, but I'll have that full up before we leave. And the steps I didn't show you, but they're pretty self-explanatory. So yeah, you just go around and you pull those down. They sort of, these things flip up on the corners. I'm trying to do this one-handed, it's not the most efficient. There we go. So they flip up like that. Yeah, so you just go around, pull things down to where they sort of roughly fit to come out. And you'll see that all comes out sort of down there. I'm not going to pull up. So, and to put it down again, it's pretty much the opposite. You tuck all these things in here, get them sort of tucked up and out of the way as you can. These things flip straight up. I know my camera work's not the best here, but trying to get my teenage daughter out of bed wasn't successful to help. So they go up. Start tucking everything in now. They only need to start tucking. You don't need to be too worried at this stage. We need to go in and let those poles down. at the back. So these ones, so undo, you have to sometimes pull them up a bit to press that little nub in there. Same on this side. Just pull up, press that nub in, bring this hole all the way down. I often find it helps just to try and tug in a little bit of stuff where you can. Make sure your bed mattress is strapped up, otherwise it will just fall off as you go to fold things up. You also need to make sure that the door is closed before you start, because these struts will end up sort of across from there. Okay, so then the first thing you need to do is to actually put a bit of slack off this, but importantly, take out, and I'm going to have to pull down on this, but take this thing out here. That will start to rise up a bit itself, but you then just start and push that over by hand. The gas struts sort of make that not too difficult a job, and it will fall down a certain distance. So this is where start coming in and just start tucking and pushing. You'll see there is a bar. You'll notice a bar there. Just give that a bit of a push on both sides to make sure it gets below that lip. Okay, and start to get some of these things. I'm just going to put my phone down for a second because this is a bit of a two-hander. Just get some of these things tucked in. So you see I've just sort of tucked most of that in as much as I can, that you'll feel some bars in there. You can tuck in sort of whatever side. So the aim is you're going to end up with this rubber sitting on this. Now to get it the rest of the way down, you then, what we need to do is, I'm going to put that latchet in a way so it just pulls out, because what we're going to need to do is pull some of this out. Can you see that? And pull out a reasonable amount, because what we need to do is actually throw this hook over that edge. Okay? You'll see there, have I let it out enough? Oh, maybe not quite. This is sometimes where somebody of my stature needs to step. You, with a bit of extra height, might be able to reach that, but I can't quite get there. So I get my trusty step up so I can reach, pull that across, get it centered a little bit, and it hooks onto, you noticed before there were two ring hooks, that hooks onto the bottom one below. While I'm here, I'll do some tucking. So what's going to happen now is, as you pull on that, as you use the ratchet down the other end, it's actually going to pull that top down. So generally what we do is flick that into its fully forward position, and then we start tying it down. You see it's taking it down, pulling it down, and then start, pull it down a bit, go down, do a bit, just do a bit of a tuck. Keep tucking as much as you can. I just find it's easier to do a bit, to tuck, do a bit, pull it down a bit, and tuck. And the other tip that I have made in this process is to get the broom out, because the broom's quite handy for tucking, particularly this back section. getting stuff in there like that. So you do a bit of tucking. Bit of tucking and a bit more winding. Again, tuck, trying to keep everything inside that rubber seal. Again, coming to the back, tuck, tuck, push, push, push. Tuck up. Find it'll start to find the natural spaces that it'll go into. Okay, when we've got no obvious little overhangers, go back, do some more winding. You'll notice that it gets quite tough to the end. Again, keep tucking, keep tucking. Again, this kind of works easier if you've got a couple of people, one to wind, one to tuck, or you tuck both sides. All right, and as I said, it does get harder as you get closer to the end, because you'll get to a certain spot, and this is the hard one. I don't know if this is going to work. Oh no, it might. Give us a bit of, here we go. This is probably, that looks no good. Okay, so there you go. That gives us a bit of an angle. So when you get to this end, the trick is, once again, making sure you've got no overhang. You physically pull this down to the point where you can get this latch on, which we're doing right. You see there? Now I'll get that on, and I'm going to go and do the other side first before I try and fully hook that down. I can also have another quick look while there's still a bit more, and remembering we always do the end latches before we do the front latches. Just always checking the tuck. Alright, so once you've got those end latches on, you then close them down, and that should do the final seal. Those are adjustable as well if you find that you need to wind them out a little bit more. And then you put on the, oh, where have I gone? Then you put on the more forward latches. Now, these are really just a kind of a backup safety thing. All right, most of the pressure is on these ones. Okay, so you see that's done up. That's done up. Okay. All right, and then I usually go around and turn things off or not. You don't really need, unless you can leave them on sort of as you're going along. It's not really a big issue. make sure that if you've had the aircon on and you've undone that hatch in there, that is, where is it? Somewhere around there. In there. Make sure that's done back up before you hit the road. That your legs are all up and things are all away. Also, theoretically, you can leave that cable hooked out, but I tend not to. I like to actually go and undo it and wind it all back up, because it means it's out of the sun as you're going along. So that's just a matter of getting enough slack on it, throw it back up there, and wind it up. And you can put it onto a middle setting so that it doesn't make a ratchet noise, which is a little bit quieter. Or just keep an eye out, because sometimes it will catch onto some of these ledges. So just do it up. If you feel like you can, put your handy and add a bit of tension onto it, it's not crucial. Keeping it on the thing. And just when it gets to a close enough point, hook it through that little hole and put a little bit of tension on it, flicking this back to the ratchet, and just put enough tension on to hold it in that spot, not too tight, otherwise it's a bit of a bugger, can be a bugger to get out. So that's the basic set down setup. I can also try and send you some links to some of the manufacturers' videos. And don't forget to put your steps up, making sure that before you put them up, where are we? You see this little swing around hook? Just put that up before you push it all in. Otherwise it doesn't want to, there isn't room for it to swing around and latch like that, which it should do. Alrighty. Oh, and I've, just to show you, this is the powered wheel and option. So that, you can see that's actually slipping a bit now. I don't know whether, make sure I'm not taking too much weight off with the other jockey wheel, but it is coming up a bit of a slope on concrete there. So, as I said, the trick, if you find that happening, if you're using it, is to actually put some weight. So you can see I'm standing on there, and you see that weight stops it from slipping. So if you've got a couple of grads that you need to utilise, just throw them up on that bar. Alright, I might have a bit of a break, and then I'll show you some of the things about hooking it up to the car.